Right, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We are back at Frampton Marsh. Been here quite a few times recently. What can I say? It's a good spot, and there's plenty of stuff about today. The main target species is white rump sandpiper. I've actually seen one before and it was at this reserve, but I've not seen one for a few years, so I'd like to see that. There's loads of spoonbills about, still a couple of spot shanks, a few rough we've already seen. So yeah, there's loads about on reserve today, and it's all concentrated on reed bed pretty much, because that's the only place where there's any decent amount of water, so makes it easy for us. Not really great for the reserve, but you know, it should hopefully mean we can pick up quite a few species today. So let's go and see what we can see. We walked around Reedbed Lagoon until we were met with a large group of waders, including these absolutely gorgeous spoonbills. These birds are becoming more populous in the UK, especially around the Wash. However, it's important to remember that there's still only an estimated 73 breeding pairs in the UK. These birds don't currently breed at Frampton Marsh, however it could be something that we see in the not too distant future. However, the main highlight was this small wader. This is a curlew sandpiper. These birds are passage migrants in the UK, being seen when they're moving to and from their breeding grounds in the Arctic. There are actually two of these birds present on site, and I get even better views later on in the video. This bird was an important year list tick for me, and actually the first curlew sandpiper that I've ever seen in Lincolnshire. Another highlight was the female black-winged stilt. Both the male and female are still present on site after taking a trip to Titchwell earlier in the year. I don't think they bred this year, but this reserve is fast becoming one of the best places to see these birds anywhere in the UK. We also picked up other wader species, including this gorgeous summer plumage dunlin, one of the UK's smallest resident waders. The black-tailed godwits were abundant as always, with some individuals starting to come out of their summer plumage and molting into their winter feathers. There are also the usual avocets present, such as the one you can see sat in the middle here. We also managed to pick up common sandpiper and golden plover, and then decided to move off to this spot and head to Reedbed Hide. We got excellent views of this ruff, of which there were plenty about on reserve. These are some of the UK's most gorgeous waders because of their variation in plumage, however they're now starting to molt into their winter feathers. And then we got these absolutely incredible views of the curlew sandpiper. What a glorious bird this is. This bird has started its molt but has retained most of its summer coloration for now, including the red head and breast and the scaly back. These birds don't look too dissimilar from dunlin, so let's look at the differences. In summer, these two birds can be separated by their plumage differences quite easily, with curlew sandpiper being much more brightly coloured than dunlin. Dunlin also have a clear black spot on the underbelly. In terms of shape, curlew sandpiper has longer legs as well as having a longer, more down-curved bill. We were told that the white rump sandpiper had unfortunately moved off that morning, so we continued around the reserve. Right, we've had a decent look around Reedbed Lagoon now, went into Reedbed Hide, and we've had plenty. Spoonbills, which you kind of take for granted now, but I mean they're just such beautiful birds, and it's always great to see them. Main highlight being the curlew sandpipers. There was two, really happy to see those. Plenty of dunlin, plenty of ruff. Seen both the male and female black-winged stilts, a couple of golden plover. Yeah, there's been plenty about. So we're walking around Reedbed Lagoon now. Let's see if we can hear the quail, and also see if we can pick up any bearded tits, which I haven't seen yet this year. So hopefully we can, although they can be quite elusive. We heard the quail at the back of Reedbed and turned back around and looked onto the lagoon to see if we could find anything else. We managed to pick up this cattle egret. This is the rarest of the 3 egret species present in the UK. However, just like the other 2 species, they are expanding their range and population. These birds are always a joy to see, and this is the first one I've seen at Frampton. We also saw these spotted redshank. Frampton is a reliable site for these waders, which are largely seen on passage in the UK but have a small wintering population. These birds have already molted into their winter plumage. Here's some footage from the reserve from earlier in the year to show the difference. This bird is in its full summer plumage. These birds are now much greyer and will be preparing to move off to their wintering sites. We waited for bearded tits for a while with no success, so decided to head back to the car and grab some lunch before coming out again to see what else we could see. Right, we've refueled now. We're heading back out to have another look at Reedbed Lagoon, see if we can see anything else. We have actually just seen a wood sandpiper briefly, and there hasn't been one reported on the reserve today, so we got that up on the board. I'm very happy with that. Unfortunately couldn't get any footage of it. It flew off somewhere, and we're not sure where, so we'll keep an eye out, try and relocate it, but yeah, see if we can pick up anything else, and then we'll go from there. As well as picking up the wood sandpiper, we also managed to spot this green sandpiper. I remember saying at the time that this was our fourth sandpiper species of the day, which isn't strictly accurate. Wood and green sandpiper are part of the Tringa genus alongside shanks. Curlew sandpiper are part of the Calidris genus, making them more closely related to dunlin and ruff. And common sandpiper are part of the Actitis genus, which only contains two species, them and the spotted sandpiper. These birds all come under the Scolopacidae family, which means that by that technicality we saw 7 sandpiper species. So another great day of birding at Frampton. I mean, when is it not, really? Finishing off with a green sandpiper and a snipe, 2 lovely birds, always great to see them. We saw them in the exact same spot last time we came. So yeah, it's been a great day, couple of birds ticked off the year list. Curlew sandpiper, especially happy with that. You know, the black-winged stilts are always a pleasure to see. You're almost guaranteed to see them when you come here now. And the spoonbills, as much as I always say it's funny how we take them for granted, because they're still quite rare birds in the UK. But yeah, it's been another great day. If you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more birding. See you later.